to On the Money right here on WDBO 107.3 FM, AM 580, always streaming live inside your WDBO app. My name is Josh McCarthy, joined in studio today with Joe, Bert, and Rodney Ownby with the one and only Certified Financial Group. You know by now every Saturday morning, Certified Financial Group is here on WDBO on the Money, answering your financial questions. Maybe you heard something in the news. Maybe you got a buddy who's got an offer that you just can't refuse, but you want to run it by the experts first. That is the point of this show. One of the longest running shows of its kind in the entire world. Certainly the longest running here in Central Florida.
Or at least in Altamont
Springs.
Springs.
To call in. Say that again, Joe?
At least in Altamont Springs.
That's right. That's right. Certified Financial Group, one of the top 100 firms in the country, listed by the CNBC. Rodney, Joe, how we doing today?
We're doing great, Josh. Good to be with you, as we have been now for more than 30 years. Rodney and I are here to take calls regarding anything that's on your mind. This is not a 1-hour infomercial. This is something that we have been doing, as I said, for more than 30 years now, speaking with our WDBO listeners across the area, answering questions that you might have regarding your personal finances, decisions that you're trying to make or trying to figure out regarding your 401k, regarding an IRA, long-term health care, regarding stocks, bonds, mutual funds, reverse mortgages, life insurance, all that and more, the things that Rodney and I and the 14 other certified financial planners work with our clients day in and day out for a fee, providing retirement planning and investment management. But on Saturday morning, we are here for you absolutely free. So if you have any questions on any of those topics or anything else I may not have mentioned, the good news for you is that as Saturday morning here at 9 o'clock, the lines are absolutely wide open, so you can create the line by picking up the phone and dialing these magic numbers.
You can call or text your question in to 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, or use that open mic inside the WDBO app to send in your best 15 to 20 seconds of a question. We'll answer it on the air as only Joe and Rodney with the Certified Financial Group can. 844-580-WDBO. Today's topic, we're going to revisit the benefits of some tax-deferred savings.
That's right. Josh, this is something that we probably talk about this every Saturday. And I know we talk about it every week when we meet with our clients. We just know it. We know that there's advantages to saving in tax-deferred savings vehicles. But I had a chance I met with some CBC 401k clients this week.
Well, folks may not know what CBC is.
CBC is Certified Benefits Corp.
Right.
So it's our 401k management subsidiary,
right? Right.
So we met with them, and I thought it was a good opportunity to talk to them about the benefits and actually look at the numbers, crunch the numbers of what that looks like, the advantages of saving in a tax-deferred savings vehicle versus after-tax savings. And I dug up some numbers that Heather and I ran these like 6 years ago. So It's been a while. And I updated them with the current limits, but the math is still the same.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at two different individuals here. One is saving in a 401k, and then the other one's saving in a CD after tax. Okay. So they each make $100,000 a year,
mm-hmm.
and they each contribute 11%, so $11,000. Right?
Okay.
Just about half of what you can contribute.
And they're how old?
They're under 50.
Okay.
So the maximum they can contribute 2023 is $22,500.
Right.
So they're contributing about half of that.
Okay.
$11,000 for each of them. One is putting it in a 401k in a 50-50 portfolio, 50% stocks, 50% bonds, and we're assuming a 5% return on that 50-50 portfolio, just for simplicity. We'll adjust that as we work through the scenarios here. The other is saving in a 5% CD after tax.
Okay.
They're saving those funds after tax.
So once again, they have $100,000. They put the $100,000 in pre-tax, so the whole $100,000 are working for them. The other one says, "No, I don't want to tie it up in my retirement plan. I'm just going to get this $100,000, pay the taxes on it, and then put what's left in the CD."
Exactly.
Is that right? Okay.
Exactly.
And what tax bracket are we looking at?
So we're looking at the 22% tax rate.
Okay,
They
got
just
it.
creeped up over into the 22% tax
Got
rate.
it. Okay.
So that's what we're assuming here, 22% tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Each saving $11,000, one pre-tax, one post-tax.
Got it.
Right. And this actually stems from a conversation that I had with a gentleman several years ago where he was arguing with me that his company had no 401k match. So he was going to he was going to contribute to a CD after tax.
So he said, the heck with it. My
Exactly.
company's not going to do a 401k match. I'm not going to put any money in. Stick it to your company. I'm going to do my own thing.
Exactly.
Got it.
And that's one of the other assumptions that we start out with here, that there is no company match, just to equate these two scenarios.
Got it.
Okay. So there's two things happening. First of all, there's a tax drag on the CD, right? Because every year you earn interest on that CD and you have to pay taxes on those earnings, right?
Okay, so with your $100,000, you're in 22% tax bracket. If you're assuming you're full 22%,
Right.
you only have $78,000 to put in the plan or into the CD, right? Is that the assumption you use?
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
So there's two effects here. There's that tax drag. So you end up actually, if you're saving pre-tax, you save the same amount, but you have more disposable income,
Got it.
right? And then you don't have a tax drag on the 401k vehicle, so your savings actually grows more quickly, right? So, I mean, we know that there's some changes we can make to the return assumptions to make this more realistic, but this is just to get an apples to apples comparison of these two scenarios.
Got it.
So over a 10-year period, just in the savings portion of it, the 401k, you can accumulate over $6,000 more dollars just in the savings part of it. And in terms of the disposable income, because of the tax drag on the CD, you accumulate an additional $24,000 in disposable income.
So are you saying that with the 401k, you were $30,000 ahead? 24 and 6?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's a
Same
total-
$100,000,
Same $100,000.
but I'm $30,000 ahead after 10 years.
Right.
Got it.
And with these very conservative return assumptions. So if we enhance this a little bit, so say we add the 3% company match,
Got it.
which, as you know, is fairly typical for what companies do in terms
Got
of
it.
matching their employees' contributions. So if we do that, then the savings difference, the accumulation in the 401k versus the CD, that difference actually goes up to $28,000. So we're really starting to magnify the returns
Got it.
now over time, right?
Got it.
The disposable income is still $24,000, but have a total now of $52,000 difference.
So I'm $52,000 ahead by putting the money in the 401k plan.
Putting the money in the 401k.
And this is only after 10 years.
This is only after 10 years.
So you run it from 50. You said start at age 50. Is that what
Exactly.
you? I mean, any 10
Well,
year
I-
any
yeah.
10-year period.
This would assume age 45 to 55 is sort of
Got it.
where we started
Got it.
this. But we didn't increase the contribution. And as you know, after age 50, you can contribute more
Right.
to those savings vehicles.
So did you run it out for more than 10 years?
We did not, but as you know, the compounding effects of this
Right.
will only magnify over time.
Right.
The other thing to think about is the max, even if you're under age 50, is now $23,000.
Right.
And we've only contributed half of that. So the wealth that you can accumulate over this time period is significant.
Gotcha.
So in the next scenario, we assume the company match, but we assume a more realistic 6.5% return on the portfolio in the 401k.
Got it.
And still keep the 5% return on the CD.
Right.
And in that example, the savings expands to $40,700, so
Whoa.
it's $41,000 in the savings part of this. Still $24,000 in the disposable income piece. So we're looking at a total of almost $65,000
In only a 10-year time frame.
in only a 10-year time frame.
Right.
Right.
So you take that out over 15, 20, 25 years, it gets in the hundreds of thousands of dollars very quickly.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the other thing that we're not even contemplating in this example is people get pay increases, right?
Oh,
over
yeah.
this period.
We
And
hope.
And they increase those contributions typically in the typical scenario.
Right. Yeah.
So in the fourth iteration of the scenario, I went out and I looked at,
your CDs. And as
you know, they're pretty high now.
Right.
So I just wanted to see what we could actually get for a 5-year period now. And it was 4.3%. So if you factor this in, so you're not at 5% anymore.
Right.
You're at 4.3% on the
Right.
CD
Right.
after tax.
Right.
You've got the tax drag. So now you're looking at almost $70,000
Right.
in incremental wealth accumulation from participating in the 401k versus after tax
Yeah.
saving. So pretty significant
Yeah,
differences here.
we see that time and time again. And, you know, as we've said time and time again, is that your silver bullet of having a decent retirement is saving money on your own because Social Security will not do it for you. It's what you're able to accumulate between now and when you stop working. And the best way to do that is get a tax deduction today and let the money grow for you without being taxed until it's time to take it out. And because compound interest is compounding on top of compounding on top of compounding. And the bigger the pile
Right.
gets. So,
it's a snowball, right?
Right, it's a snowball. And, I think the real tragedy is, Rodney, and, you see this, I see this, particularly with the young folks. They say, well, I'm 28 years old, I'm only 30, I'm only 35, I'm only 40. And before you know it, you're 50.
Right.
And you've wasted all that time and all that ability to compound money. And this is, I think, a terrible failing of our educational system. I've gone in schools before and shown kids about, how money will grow, compounding, and it's the eighth wonder of the world. Right. And unfortunately, they don't teach us this stuff, and we don't realize this stuff until it's too late. So the lesson for this morning for our listeners is, if you have a retirement plan at work, whether it's a 401k, a 403b, a 457, whatever it might be, work on putting in the maximum that you can and increase it every year until you get up to the maximum. And over age 50 today, it's about $30,000, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, $30,000 is the maximum that you could put in. And that's a tax deduction right off the top. This time of year, everybody's looking for tax deductions because we can't itemize anymore. But you can. This does not affect your itemized deductions.
Right.
So you get that deduction. And it's by far and away, it's the best way to accumulate money for the future. And it comes out of your paycheck. You don't see it. And if you don't have it in your wallet, I don't have it in your checking account or wherever you stash your money, chances are you're not going to spend it. And in some plans, it's always there in case of emergency. You can borrow on it, and you're borrowing from yourself, so that's not too bad. And it's better than putting it on a high expensive credit card or something like that. And you're paying yourself back, so you're acting as your own bank. You don't want to use your retirement plan as your savings account to pay for the vacation or the big screen TV. It's really for your retirement. But we know in life stuff happens if you got money in there to tap into. But you don't want to. You want to use your retirement plan to the maximum that you can, because Social Security is not going to cut it. Yeah, so that's a great demonstration. So maybe on one of our future shows, you can run that out over 25 or 30 years and tell our listeners how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that makes a difference. And, on Rodney mentioned our CBC, our Certified Benefits Corp, which is the 401k, 403b arm of our company that provides retirement plans to businesses really in various states around the country. We have on our website calculators that you can see what this does for you if you're able to save money and how much it'll compound and grow, really what you need to save on a regular basis. So and a lot of the plans, I know all the plans out there have the same thing. Use those things. Take a look at really what the impact is of time and compound interest. It's like I said, it's the eighth wonder of the world. And unfortunately, we don't realize that until it's too late. And I hear the bumper music there, Josh, so take it away, buddy.
That's right. I remember the day that the Joe Bert of my high school came in and talked to us, and I wish I would have listened to him then. I didn't really listen until I started having kids and thinking about, the far-off future.
Right.
But that's what you guys are, experts in your fields, and you can inform us to do the right thing at the right time. Even if it's just a little, it can go a long way over those years that you have ahead of you. 844-580-9326 is the number to call if you want to talk to the team at Certified Financial Group. 844-580-WDBO. Send in your question via text. Send in your question via the old-fashioned way by talking to me, or sending in your open mic using that WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow.
Today.
With the Certified Financial Group. Back to On the Money right here on WDBO 107.3 FM AM 580, always streaming live inside your WDBO app. 844-580-9326 is the number to call to get your question on the air. 844-580-9326 is the number to text to get your question on the air. Send in your open mic to the WDBO app to get expert advice from Rodney Ownby and Joe Bert with the Certified Financial Group. We got a text roll in during that break. What do you say we hit those text questions now?
Let's do it.
All right, this one comes to us from a listener. My friend said he signed up for 6% fixed annuity. Do you believe this is true? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Well, perhaps. Rodney?
I believe it probably is true. But the interesting thing is that those rates are only out there for a brief time.
Right.
They've come down significantly. I looked at a 3-year a few days ago, and it was 5.1%, where it had been 5.9.
Yeah, and they're coming down. Yep. So there was an opportunity there to get the higher rates for a period of time, but that window is closing, or has closed, at least in the rates, and they expect rates to come down. So if you're locked in that rate, you've got that rate locked in for a few years. It could and should be part of your overall portfolio, unless you've got a huge amount of money. Don't put all of your money into fixed income kinds of things. But the nice thing about that rate of return, as the caller said, it is tax deferred, which simply means that the interest that it earns on it every year will grow until such time as you withdraw it. And there's not a bad deal.
It's a distinction from the CD that we talked about earlier,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Where you're paying those the tax track.
In fact, I was thinking about your illustration there where you're talking about putting $100,000 or putting $11,000 pre-tax into the 401k or the 403b, whatever retirement plan might be, or taking that same amount of money and paying the tax and then putting in what's left into the CD or what other investment because you didn't want to put in the retirement plan.
Right.
What people fail to realize is that to put $1 into a non-retirement account in a 22% tax bracket, you really have to gross $1.28.
Right.
Because you take $1.28, take 22% off of it for taxes, and that's how you end up with the dollar. Whereas you put that same dollar in your retirement plan, it's a full dollar.
Right.
So that's where that differential is. That's huge.
Which is why you end up with more disposable income.
Exactly. Yeah, people
something we don't always talk about that portion of it.
Yeah, what you want to do is save on a pre-tax basis as opposed to trying to do it outside of the retirement plan. And of course, then people come along, Rodney, and you've heard this too. They say, "Well, I put the money in the plan, but then I got to pay taxes on it somewhere. So why don't I just pay the taxes now?"
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's true you have to pay taxes, but look at what happens when you don't pay the taxes today and you leave that money in the account and it compounds for you.
Right.
The worst thing is to have a big pile of money, you have to pay some taxes when you take it out. Right. I mean, instead of having a small pile of money that I've already paid taxes on, so I feel better because I already paid the taxes.
And it's a third of what you
exactly. Yes, yeah. That's being short-sighted. But of course, that's why our listeners listen to the show, to give you those kinds of insights that we deal with day in and day out. We got a workshop coming up real quick, Rodney. What do we have?
We do. On February 7th, that's a Wednesday, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., getting long-term care planning right. Smart approaches for people at all ages. That's hosted by Charles Curry and Win Smith. They're teaming up for that one.
Yeah, that's a great one about all the options, things you have to consider, because when you reach those retirement years, you got to look at what your options are in terms of long-term care, and he'll be covering that. Charles Curry, and incidentally, Charles Curry is also taking calls off the air right now at our office. You can reach him if you want a more detailed discussion or more detailed information about his upcoming workshop. Once again, as Rodney says, that's February the 7th. It's a Wednesday evening here in our offices at 6:30 in Altamont Springs. You can reach him at 407-869-9800, 407-869-9800. Take it away, Josh.
That's a good number to talk to Charles off the air. If you got a personal question, you want to get down to specific numbers with your family's account. If you want to talk broad questions, you heard something on the air, you heard something in the news, that's what Joe Bert and Rodney Ownby are doing live on the air right now. 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO. Call in your question, text in your question, send in your open mic. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow.
Today
With the Certified Financial Group. 107.3 FM, AM 580, always streaming live inside the WDBO app. My name's Josh McCarthy, joined today with Certified Financial Planners Rodney Ownby and Certified Financial Planner Joe Bert. Planning your finances is kind of the point of this whole show. You got questions about your future, your present, maybe even your past, but we want to focus on that future because of all the education that Joe and Rodney can offer you today. That's what this show offers to the listeners. So pick up the phone right now, dial 844-580-9326, 844-580-WDBO, and talk to the team at the Certified Financial Group. 844-580-WDBO. Let's waste no time. Let's go right back to work. We got George who called in from Orlando. Go ahead, George. You're on the air.
Morning, George.
Hey, George.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's up?
I got a variable premium annuity that qualifies as an IRA. I've had it for many, many, many years, and it pays 4.5% minimum per year. Now, I'm getting up in years, and I decided to help my kids, which are now adults, okay? And between the both of them, I'm withdrawing $77,000 from it.
Okay, you take.
So
let me be sure I understand. You're taking out $77,000 in a lump sum to give to your kids.
Yeah, I'm going to split it between the two of them.
Two kids, okay. So that's $38,500 apiece if you're going to split it equally. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I want to know, is that going to put me in a different I'm on Social Security, okay?
Okay.
I make like $20,000 a year.
Okay.
Is that going to put me in a different tax bracket?
Most likely, George. Let's see here. You're single?
Yeah.
You're finding single? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's going to put you. You're going to be. You could be pushing the 22% tax bracket here, my friend.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to take 22% right off the top of that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing you want to consider is that you may impact the your Medicare, push you up into higher taxes for Medicare, and then your Social Security is going to be taxed on top of that. So that's very expensive money. I wouldn't take it out on a lump sum if you didn't have to, George.
I already did.
Oh, so you should have called us beforehand, George. Yeah. So you will find. Yeah, you'll have an unpleasant tax bill next year.
Well, what about the Medicare? Tell me about that.
Well, once you exceed the threshold, once your income increases, so does your Medicare premium. And I can tell you what that is here. Actually, in your case, you're below. You don't have to worry about it, George. But that's a general statement that we tell people when they're making big withdrawals or do Roth conversions. But in your case, your Medicare premium will not go up, but your Social Security is going to be taxed a little bit more if it's not taxed now, and you're going to pay income tax on a portion of that $77,000 withdrawal. And don't forget, because you gave them more than $17,000 or $18,000, you got to file a gift tax. You should file a gift tax return. You don't have to pay taxes, but you should file the return.
Just record it.
Yeah, that's what, a 709.
Yes.
Yeah, Form 709.
Yep.
Got it, George?
Well, what are they going to be sending me as far as paperwork to do about taxes?
They're going to send you a 1099.
1099.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said something about a gift. What?
Yeah, because you exceeded the threshold for you gave it. You didn't give it just to them. You didn't give it to their spouses or anything else, right?
Right.
Yeah, you gave them, and so you exceeded the limit as to what you can give without filing a gift tax return.
And that's $18,000.
18,000,
2024.
right.
Per donee.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you gave them a little bit more, so you have to file the gift tax return, a Form 706, and you fill it out. You don't have to pay taxes, but just to keep everything clean, that's all you have to do.
So, okay.
Yeah, it'd have been better, George. It'd have been better if you split that over 2 years.
Well, I didn't know that, but they needed. I got a car for my lovely daughter and my son.
Yeah.
Machinery for embroidery. So.
Did you do that this year?
Get it all done, and
did you do that this year?
Huh?
Did you do that this year or last year?
2023.
No, just right now. I mean, like they haven't transferred the money yet to my credit union, but they're in the process.
Yeah, George, a little bit of planning would have been. You should have done that at the end of December and then the first week in January, and you'd have done the same thing and probably not paid any taxes.
Yeah, when you love your kids.
I understand, but 1 week wouldn't have made a difference, I don't think. But that's all right. That next time you know. Next time you know.
Well, there won't be no next time.
Well, good for you, good for your kids. I know you did. I know you did in your heart what you wanted to do. All right, George, you take care. Thank you for the call, as always.
Thanks, George.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. If you want to join the show, the number to call is 844-580-9326. 844-580-WDBO is that number to call to get these certified financial planners on top of your case. We got Sue calling in from Oviedo. Go ahead, Sue. You're on the air.
Good morning, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
How are you?
Thank you. Good, thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm almost 63, working full time. Was planning on waiting to start Social Security until I retire at 70.
Okay.
But I'm also hearing about taking it now, and then if I continue to work, it will bump up at age 70. I'm just wondering how that would impact my taxes and what percent of increase I might be looking at age 70 if I did it that way.
Well, you're going to be here's what I think you're counting on, is that if you take it out now and continue to work, you'll still be in the same place that you would have been had you waited till age 70 in terms of how much you can withdraw. That's what I heard you say that I think you believe. And the answer is no, you're going to be extremely penalized even though you're continuing to work. So if you want to maximize your Social Security benefit, I would wait until you're 70.
Okay. All right. And then
one thing we should point out, Sue, real quick. So if you take it before full retirement age, if you earn over $22,000, I believe, you're going to give back $1 for every $2 that you earn.
Yep.
there's a give back if you start to draw Social Security and you continue to work before your full retirement age, which for you would be age 67, right?
Yep. Yeah. So that's an important consideration. There's a penalty if you start withdrawing before your full retirement age. So
Okay.
as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and your health is okay, are you single, Sue?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking at whatever you're able to build up for yourself. Yeah. If I were you, most likely than not, I would continue to work, continue to put into Social Security, because your Social Security is based on your highest 35 years of earnings, and chances are you're earning more today than you were 35 years ago.
Right.
So your benefit's only going to get bigger, and it compounds.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you do
Well,
get
thank you.
8%, Sue. You get 8% if
Yeah.
you wait beyond 67. You get 8% per year for delaying to age 70.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already getting those estimates, so
Yep.
I know what that looks like too. So, all right. I appreciate it.
You're welcome,
Thank
Sue.
you.
Thank you for the call. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Sue. Next in line, we got Anton calling from Kissimmee. If you want to hop on the air with a couple of certified financial planners at the Certified Financial Group, the number to call is 844-580-9326. Talk to the Certified Financial Group right now, live on the air. Anton's calling in from Kissimmee. Go ahead, Anton.
Anton, what's up, man?
It's another day in paradise.
There you go.
So my question is this. So I am a veteran. I recently got 100% total and permanent on my percentage. So what that means is that the percentage that I have at 100% will never go down, ever.
Okay.
Where before I was the one that could fluctuate. So I could go from 100% and the VA looks at it and says, oh, well, we think you're better. We're going to drop you down to 90% or
Right.
20%, whatever it is. So it fluctuates. So right now it's not. And I've been saving up for my retirement for a while, using a 401k, my 401k through through Osceola County.
Okay.
And so now that I have this TMP and I don't have a fluctuation of what could potentially increase or decrease my income, I know I now have a fixed income of about X amount.
Okay.
So so now that I have that amount coming constantly, how do I calculate my new retirement based off that new income that's coming in that's going to be there for a while? Hopefully, as long as, government doesn't ever stop paying VA benefits.
That'll always be there.
And I don't have it.
That'll always be there. So don't worry about that going away.
Okay. So then do I adjust because the way I was saving before for my retirement was a very, I wasn't doing very conservative. I was right battling on there because I wanted to increase as quick as possible and whatever else. So I was putting around, I guess about $600 a month to it because I could. Or about $600 a month. So I guess the question is, can I drop that down now, or should I still continue doing this way and pretend that I don't have that amount?
The bottom line is you should be putting in the maximum amount that you can put in that plan, which you're over 50, I presume?
He's 38.
No, I'm 38.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had 30 years in the service.
No.
Okay.
I had
Okay.
I was medically retired from the service
Got it.
after 8 years
Okay.
of.
Okay. You can shoot for putting $23,000 a year in your retirement plan. If you can do that, you're going to be in great shape. You're going to be in better shape than 95% of the people walking around out there.
And then you're
How
asking
much
if you want to adjust the
annually?
allocation, adjust the risk tolerance as well.
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking, Anton?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm asking.
Yeah. You're still young. I mean, you've got the advantage of time.
Yeah.
Even though you have this extra cash flow that's now guaranteed. If you look at the formula, 110 minus your age and equities, you're still looking at a 70-30 allocation in your portfolio, and you can you can stray from that based on your own personal risk tolerance, plus or minus 10%.
You should be more aggressive at your particular age, but strive for putting in that $23,000 a year into your plan, Anton. If you got that,
2,300.
no, $23,000 a year.
23,000 is the max.
A year.
23,000 a year.
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, alrighty.
Okay, that's,
All right. So I'll rebudget and see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, if you can make that happen, I'm telling you, man, you're going to be looking back in 20 years from now and said, oh my gosh, I'm glad I talked to those guys on the radio on Saturday morning. It'll be incredible what that
Yes,
money will
sir.
go through. Now, here's the deal. No matter what's going on in that plan, don't stop putting it in. You know, what most people do is they hear the news, they turn on the news, they, oh, the market's going bad, I want to get out, get on the sideline. Don't do that. Don't listen to the financial prognosticators, because time and time again, they're wrong, and it'll only screw you up. If you believe that the world will continue to grow and people will need to continue to buy all the things that the markets invest in, you're going to be in good shape. Just do it and don't look back.
Don't believe the hype.
You got it, man.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Anton, good luck to you. Thank you for your service.
Take care, Anton.
Okay.
Thank you.
You can tell I'm working with a couple of radio professionals because as soon as this music started, Joe was saying, just don't stop believing in the plan. You know, just don't stop believing no matter what you do. Just keep putting the money in and you'll be happy. You'll be better than 95% of the people out there. I appreciate working with a bunch of pros at the Certified Financial Group. 844-580-9326 is the number to call. One more segment coming up. If your question is more specific or if the show comes to an end before you can get on, Charles Curry is standing by off the air at 407-869-9800. That's 407-869-9800. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today.
with the Certified Financial Group. Welcome back to On the Money right here on WDBO 107.3 FM AM 580. Always streaming live inside your WDBO app. Your chance to pick the brains of some certified financial planners. Today on the show we have Rodney Ownby and Joe Bert with the top 100 firm in the country, Certified Financial Group, as named by the CNBC poll, which is always a reliable source for these kind of financial advisoring questions. Coming up at the end of the show here, so thank you so much for everybody who partook in the show. And if you want to come down to the shop, down to the state-of-the-art workshops that they have down there, that's one of the options they have too, guys, right?
Yeah, we got a couple coming up, right, Rodney? What
That's
are
right.
they?
We mentioned the one, the long-term care planning earlier, but then the one after, that's February 7th. Then February 24th, that's a Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. Gary Abley is hosting Will Your Savings Last a Lifetime?
So it's an opportunity to do some quick estimates as to how much money you will need at retirement. It's not a full-blown financial plan, but it'll give you some things that you need to consider. All that information about these workshops, they're absolutely free, by the way, folks. We've got one going on this morning, and it's a full house. People will be standing, I think, in the aisles because this is a popular one that Gary does about long-term, or about healthcare options in retirement. You know, you're reaching 65 and trying to figure out. But anyway, go to our website. That's financialgroup.com. Financialgroup.com. You can make your reservations right there online. They're absolutely free. We can accommodate about 30 people comfortably in our state-of-the-art learning center with great audio-visual equipment, and I'm sure you'll walk away with some ideas that will save you perhaps thousands of dollars throughout your lifetime. So go to our website to make your reservation right there at financialgroup.com, and we hope to see you some Wednesday evening coming up February the 7th on long-term care options, and then will your savings last a lifetime, and that's at the end of February. The date again, Rodney, is?
February 24th.
February 24th. So once again, our website, financialgroup.com. Click on events and everything that you ever wanted to know. Once again, we have Score My Funds. We've had a lot of folks checking this out recently, maybe because it's the first of the year. So if you want a objective look at the funds that you have in your retirement accounts or your brokerage account, go to scoremyfunds.com. Scoremyfunds.com. It's self-explanatory is what you need to do. We will send you a detailed analysis within 48 hours, absolutely free. And if you'd like to follow up with us after that, we're glad to do that. So that's scoremyfunds.com. So that's all the things we do here for our listeners every Saturday morning. And if you're listening on Sunday morning or once again at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning, we're glad that you tune in, at least for the replay. But on Saturday morning, we're here for you live, as we have been now for more than 30 years, working and giving our listeners financial information to prevent you from becoming a financial casualty. So, Josh, as always, it's been a pleasure to be with you.
And as always, guys, I love being the middleman between everybody's questions and your financial experts. A couple of certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group answering your questions live on the air. That is what this show is. You just listened to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today
with the Certified Financial Group.